Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Rukun podcast. Today we're joined by two hosts and one special guest. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Asra and I'm 15. I'm a basketball player and I'm friends with Dan and Naya. Glad to be here.
Yes. So, today our topic is going to be about toxicity and specifically toxicity in friendships. What happens in cases of toxicity? How does it look like? How can you solve toxicity in friendships? So, uh,
Guys, there's a lot of oh my god. Guys, there's a lot of background noise, okay? So don't mind it. I hope you can hear us. Like we're gonna nibla the mic while we talk. Yeah, so I'm gonna have them, get used to it alone. I'm gonna come back in like 3 minutes, guys. Bye.
she's just gonna cut into the scene randomly. Yeah. Since you picked this topic, would you like to explain to us why you picked this topic specifically and what impact you think it will do to us?
Okay. Number one, I think all my life I've been surrounded with toxic relationships, friendships, people in general, and maybe even toxicity in myself. So I really wanted to unravel what really happens when you get, how do I say, تتعرضي toxic relationships and stuff like that. And honestly, I feel like I went past that toxicity stage and I've learned to be a healthier person, whether it be relationships or with myself.
That's actually really great because, especially in our age and like our day and age, there are so many people in toxic situations and they don't even realize it. And even if they did realize it, they don't know how to step away from such like situations. So it's a hard thing to be in. It's a hard thing to sort of experience. So I'm gonna start us off with this episode with the first question. When you hear the phrase toxic friendships, toxic situations, what do you think of? What comes to your mind?
Okay, first of all, friendships, why do we have friendships anyway? To support you, to spread positivity, and most of all, support your growth or help you grow, okay? Toxic relationships, it's like the opposite. When I think of toxic, I think of poison. I think of something that could take over and control everything you want to do or your goals, let's say. Some like toxic relationships or toxic friendships, it's like spreading negativity, criticism, like anything bad or like even, how do I say this? Stopping you from getting to where you want to be.
So not only is friendship, like I really agree with what you said, because friendship really is something that helps you grow as a person, because after all, humans were meant to be social animals in the first place. Like I'm saying this as in the context of animals. Humans were meant to be social animals. Without social interactions, without friendships, without relationships, they wouldn't survive. A great example of that is people who are socially isolated tend to be more depressed. That's what's this is just research. That's common sense. So yeah, friendships really do have an impact on your life. They have an impact on your mindset. They have an impact on your positivity and negativity. It's honestly it plays such a big role in your life that not many people seem to point out. They just play it down like, oh, this is just
Fine.
Exactly. So friendships, they really do affect. So be careful who you befriend. Be careful about who you're around.
It's really
Hey
loud.
guys, your favorite part of the podcast is back.
Dan is back. No way, guys. We're gonna throw a party to celebrate.
About Sireen
Yeah.
and Moya.
And Moya. Yeah,
Moya.
I need to. Yo.
Okay, guys. So, our topic. Now, I'd like to ask you. Obviously, we're dealing with toxicity in friendship. Is that a word? Toxicity.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Felt like there was something off. Toxicity in friendship. So why do you think people, when they're blaming, like there's an issue, why do you think they always blame the finger to other people, not to themselves?
It's so much easier to point out or to criticize other people than to criticize yourself. That's one thing. And like we're talking about toxic people here. Toxic people are normally like victim mindset people. They're very like lean into narcissism.
Yeah.
Okay. So normally they would criticize other people and wouldn't criticize you. Wouldn't criticize themselves, which is normal. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Other normal people wouldn't. Like in normal case, unless you're like really self-aware. Normal.
Going by the standards of society. I don't know.
Debate. Come on, debate.
What's it called? So you have to reach to a level of self-awareness to know you're toxic, or to know you have toxic traits.
Yeah, I actually have something to add on that. Like you mentioned that sometimes it's just like them being like narcissists or something. Like I feel like in other cases they can also be like, it can come from a place of insecurity, where they're like projecting their problems onto other people. They're pointing fingers outwards so they don't point them inwards.
So they can protect themselves.
Yeah, so they can protect themselves, that they can cover up their flaws. They're just like too embarrassed to be themselves, to be their flaws. Guys, everybody is flawed. Stop.
I'm flawed. I know you all think I'm the most perfect human being to ever exist. Prettiest, smartest, most intelligent,
course
best
you're-
podcast host.
Girl.
Girl. But no, guys, even I have faults, believe it or not.
Yeah, insecurities are just such a common thing these days.
But not with me, because I'm
Yeah, but they
perfect.
Yeah, of course you're perfect. Yeah, but like,
joke. This is a joke.
she's perfect, guys. She's perfect.
joke.
She's
Guys,
perfect.
Before we continue, can I just show you my nail that was broken? Like, that's
A
so
moment,
sad.
a moment of silence for the nails.
Continue.
Yeah, yeah. But also, like as I was saying, like insecurity is such like a common thing nowadays, and people are so like afraid to show their insecurities or to like just embrace them. Embrace them. It's what makes you unique. It's such like a simple thing.
So you guys are saying that toxicity or being toxic is a coping mechanism.
Sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's true. Okay,
Do you disagree?
it's not that. It's that.
State your reason.
I don't.
Guys,
There we go.
we're like
Guys, I'm
we
the
both
middle,
do
by the way.
debate on the same team, so it's like we're preparing. So don't mind us.
They're not
Okay.
I mean, debates.
So it's not that I disagree. It's that there's another idea to it. Like, yeah, obviously, whenever you have these insecurities or unhealed problems and trauma and all of that, yeah.
All that stuff.
You normally, or in the normal case scenario, you project them outwards. That's right. But not to protect yourself, but to feel like everyone else is on the same level as you. For example, let's give an example. I'm insecure of, let's say, my nose. Let's say. Okay, that's it. And then I go ahead and criticize everyone around me for having different noses and noses that don't match mine. And then I feel like I'm on the same level as them. Therefore, I feel normal. I don't feel like I'm, let's say, alone in this. Yeah.
Moving on from that question. So tell me, there are so many people that have problems recognizing toxic situations, toxic friendships. How can we tell that we're in a toxic situation or a friendship? And what sets them apart from normal situations and toxic situations? What's the big difference between them?
Okay. So people say that there's a difference between being toxic, being a toxic person, and showing toxicity. Okay.
Who's people? Who's people?
Research, scientists. So it's normal for everyone to show signs of toxicity. That's like completely normal. Under a certain pressure, people are toxic to protect themselves, as they said. They were right. Okay. But being a toxic person is showing patterns of it. For example, negativity, control, manipulation, guilt tripping. You recognize that in friendships, like fighting. I don't think fighting is
Yeah.
a sign of toxicity.
Yeah, fighting. Can I just add something? Fighting is actually a sign of a healthy relationship or a healthy friendship. Like you just have enough patience to. Fighting is having the patience to argue with somebody or to work a problem that you have, like with another person. Like it depends on if it's an unhealthy argument or a healthy argument. Because so many people start arguments to prove themselves, but when you're arguing to solve the actual problem, when you're arguing to do that, that's how it works. That's a healthy friendship, a relationship, anything. That's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be proving your point. You're supposed to be understanding the other person better.
You know, when I was searching up about toxic relationships and friendships, can you imagine emotional dumping is a sign? Can you imagine?
Probably is. Like,
was so shocked. I even asked, what's it called? I went on Google. I was like, why is emotional dumping a sign of toxicity? It was like, there's a difference between healthy venting and emotional dumping. Emotional dumping, you don't really like ask the person, or you don't really ask your friend to
without consent. Like,
exactly without consent, and it often like it's not even venting at that point. It's just like repeating the same problems over and over again, which really doesn't get you anywhere. If you're venting to them to solve a problem or to say something or to get something off your chest, you better put in mind that the person in front of you is also human. Like, they're not a robot. They won't accept everything you say to them without feeling or without triggering a certain emotion. That's one.
Yeah, exactly. When you're dealing with your own problems, like, imagine you're dealing with your own problems, and then your friend, like, I had a friend. I don't think she knows about this thing I'm doing, so it's fine for me to talk. It's fine for me to talk. I feel like I'm not in change right now. She was like my best friend for like a good 4 years, but at some point, it just got to a point where our entire conversations were her just complaining about something, complaining about her life, about school, about something, and like I wouldn't even get the chance to talk. It's just her complaining, 2 hours of her complaining, and her expecting me to listen to the entire thing. It's, look, we get it. Like, if you're trying to be a healthy person with a healthy friendship, yeah, a certain like God, I forgot the word.
Boundary.
No, not the boundaries. Like a certain amount of talking about your problems. Like, yeah, that's okay. Like, if you love a person, it's just only normal to try and to like want to try and support them, but not when it gets to the point where you're draining the other person. Because that's how I felt. Like, I would get out of that conversation with that girl feeling like trash, guys. I couldn't talk to anybody else, and it still shows on me these days. Like, I take so long to reply to people because she's just drained me out so bad. So if you find yourself in that situation, guys, be careful. Your mental health and well-being comes first. You're not responsible for anybody's happiness. Exactly. Yeah. We have Dana back, guys. Say hello, Dana.
Hi guys, I'm so sorry. I had to go use the bathroom. I thought there.
No, go on.
I thought there was no bathroom in the restaurant. Turns out there was one. I left the restaurant. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, since we've talked about the signs of toxicity and how to recognize toxicity, even if it's like in normal situations, what do you think are some signs that you are the toxic person in the situation and not the other person? Because we've talked about like insecurity. We just talked about that. Some people don't even realize that they're trying to cover up their own insecurities. So, how do we tell that apart, and how do we recognize that we ourselves are the problems? How do we do that?
First of all, it's like when it comes to friendships, you always have to weigh them. You have to weigh it, okay? You and your friend. Are they toxic or are you toxic? If you don't find toxic or toxicity in them, it's most likely in you. Like, honestly. But what's it called? One thing I also wanted to point out was that criticism from others. Like, when others point out that you're toxic or you seem toxic, like,
You probably are.
exactly, you probably are. So
Sometimes
that's
it's
one
just
thing.
a coping mechanism or a defensive mechanism. Not
Yeah, but
always. You
it's-
have to. Yeah, you have to sort of like really think about it. Yeah, thank you. Sometimes you really have to think about it, because not everybody and not everything everybody tells you is necessarily true. Sometimes they're just lying to cope with themselves, to defend themselves. Like, yeah, there are so many arguments that have gone. Like, I've had so many arguments where people try to frame it and make it seem like I'm the toxic person, even though I am aware that I'm not. But that's what we're talking about. Like, how am I supposed to be aware that I am the toxic person or not? Yeah. Take it. Isra, take it. Yeah, but you
Isra,
don't-
take it.
Inti,
Well, I have
talk.
nothing.
It's not safe. You have nothing to say
Yes.
yet. Now, picture this for me, okay? You're with someone who you and everyone around you believes is an amazing person. This person hasn't غلط بحقك. You know انت غلطتي بحق هذا الperson. You still don't think you're toxic. Now, there could be a toxic relationship without ongoing toxicity. Like, I could have done toxic things without being a toxic person. Does that make either of us toxic in the relationship? That's to be debated. You see where I'm coming from, guys? If you're not sure which one, if you have self-awareness but you don't think it's you don't think it's them, they're probably neither of you are toxic, but there has been toxic behaviors that has made both of you act differently towards different situations. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
We are picking it up, and sometimes you're just not a match for that person. Sometimes you and that person just don't click. You're trying to force this.
Compatible.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes you're just not compatible. You're trying to force a friendship out of something that simply will not exist, ever. So sometimes, like, it's not the person. It's just the fact that you guys are not compatible. You can't force it. You can't do anything about it. Guys, well, what is happening behind me? What's happening behind me? Yeah. But I believe, like, yeah, everybody should have a certain level of self-awareness to, like, sort of... self-awareness is such an important thing, like, in so many different situations, even if it doesn't come to, like, toxicity and friendships. Self-awareness is what's going to save you, and you're trying to tell if you're the toxic person or the other person is the toxic person. You're really going to have to, like, look inside yourself and, like, just... أبدأ المايك. Yeah.
I agree with Naya on the self-awareness part. I think being self-aware very early or at an early stage would really save you. Like, because toxicity, again, it's like poison. When you keep adding onto it, it gets worse. Okay? The more you act toxic, the more you show signs of toxic traits, the worse it gets. The more your core rots. I'll call it that.
And there is also something I've seen people rely on a lot is it's empathy. Like your empathy. Like there's a big difference between like logical people and empathetic people. You can't let your feelings dictate and decide everything for you. Sometimes you're going to have to look at the situation through a logical perspective. Because sometimes your feelings just aren't true. Sometimes you're biased towards something or the other. You just can't decide for yourself. You have to, like there are so many people that tell me to like we were just talking about this, like trusting your gut and whatever. Sometimes your gut is not enough. Sometimes you're going to have to look at it through a purely logical perspective to find out what's wrong with you or the other person.
So, since we were on the topic of nothing, you just stared at me. I thought I said something. Since we were on the topic of like you realizing that you're the toxic friend, obviously that's like a lot to take in, and you're gonna wanna talk to the other person like, yo, wait, this is my fault. I'm supposed to apologize, right? So how do you do that? How do you approach a friend and like be like, yo, wait, I'm toxic. I'm sorry. What do you like? Literally, what do you do?
Twist strap first.
Okay, so this happened to me over the summer. Okay, this happened to me over the summer.
Over the summer?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the moment I realized, by the way, it was toxicity in, let me tell you guys, okay, the sign was, or the toxic part of me, was attachment, okay? Or let's say clinginess, okay? So the minute I realized, oh, okay, I'm like so dependent on this person, okay, like codependency and all that, yeah? Okay, so the moment I realized, I was like, oh wait, okay, I'm showing signs of toxicity. I'm toxic. I'm the one who's maybe contributing to the toxicity in this friendship, maybe. So
There's a chance. Yeah.
it came with the right time. Summer, it was, oh yeah, okay. Summer break, it was all break. I was gonna take time off. You start off with separating yourself and reflecting. So it came at the right time. With summer, there was a very long period of time, 3 months. Enough time to really reflect and, you know, heal yourself. Okay. Enough time to heal and really reflect on what you've done over the past year. I think reflecting is really a good thing, you know. Anyways, so I took 2 weeks to really reflect on, oh, okay, I did this and this and this. And they did this and this and this in return. So I'm supposed to do this and this and this. Okay. So at the side and من ناحية attachment, honestly I feel like I needed the space, or they needed the space too. Yeah, so when I realized, okay, Now I have to find a way to depend on myself. Bear with me. Then, yeah. After that, I decided to go out with them.
Said person.
Yeah. Huh?
Ex. Said person.
Yeah. Okay. Go out with them. And then to like not test myself, but like to see what I would do or how I'd react. I reacted the same way as before. I was still toxic. So again, I took another 3 weeks away from them. School came back. And I was better. I wasn't as attached as before. Like that codependency mentality I had, I feel like I've always done it. Like it's not only this time. I've always done it all my life. Maybe that's why I end up with, friends leaving and all of that. So yeah, that's like me with toxicity. That's how I realized and that's how I healed. Now I'm so much better, guys.
But yeah, like just touching on what you said, it takes such a great level of maturity and self-awareness to just realize that, oh, I am the person who's in the wrong and not the other person. But guys, if you truly love that friend or that person, you are going to do everything in your power to fix that toxic thing in you, fix that relationship or friendship to stay with them.
If you truly value this person as a friend and as someone you have to keep in your life because you both benefit from each other, then no matter the toxicity, no matter what you went through, there's gonna be that part of you that keeps wanting to like fix it because you know how great this relationship can be, this friendship, whatever. What?
Yeah, the potential.
Yeah, exactly. But also at the same time, don't live on this potential. Like if both parties are like you guys, there's always something coming between, then there's probably a sign from Allah that just stop.
Yeah, stop, drop and roll, guys. You want to say something?
This is a sign, guys, that you can go back from being toxic. Like you're not doomed for life if you've entered that stage, okay? Like some people just give up on the friendship, let's say. As soon as they enter that toxic stage, they're like, oh, khalas, we're toxic. Now let's cut it off so that it can fix everything. But that doesn't really fix it. It just ends the relationship, which therefore, obviously, inevitably, ends the toxicity. Because there's nothing to be toxic about. So try to work it out if you're toxic or if you have a toxic friendship or if you're even toxic with yourself.
But guys, I also wanted to mention sometimes both of you are toxic. Like Isra, I think you mentioned something about that, like both people being toxic, right? If you both are toxic and you're the only person who puts the effort in to fix the friendship, then it's just not going to work. It's not going to work at all. You have the maturity and the self-awareness to recognize that you did something wrong, and you are like mature enough to go and apologize and try to fix stuff, and they're just not putting the same amount of energy. Stop trying. It's not worth it. It's not worth like just spending all of that time, all that energy. It's not gonna work. Just do not.
This podcast is like a wake-up call, I swear.
Yeah, that's our largest and that's our biggest goal.
Avocado toast for 22 riyals. Guys, are we so for real?
All right, since we in the last question were talking about self-awareness, how do you think negative or positive friendships affect how you see yourself, like your perspective on yourself? Do they change your perspective on yourself? Do they change your attitude, your behaviors?
When it comes to positive relationships or friendships, it's about how you start seeing yourself. Now, with negative people, you start feeling terrible, or you start being drained, or you're more negative now. You start, what do they call it? Whenever you keep on, what's it called? Judging yourself.
Low self-esteem.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it's called. But you're very judgmental. You always criticize yourself. Exactly. That's with toxic or negative friendships and relationships. But with positive ones, it's the complete opposite. You start to look at yourself better. You start to see the positive side of things. It's like a clearer path to where you want to be. Like the friendship or the relationship kind of removes all the obstacles you kind of go through, especially when it comes to especially when it comes to negativity. Yeah.
I think I talked about this with like my last episode with Dana. You are what you take in. You are what you take in. You're giving us like effects, visual effects. Yeah, you are what you take in. If you take in positive things, you're gonna be a positive person. If you take in negative things, you're gonna be a negative person. Same thing with relationships or friendships. If you have positive friendships, you're gonna be a positive person, and so on. It's such a small thing in our lives that people think doesn't matter, but it does. Like, be careful who you hang out with. Be careful about who you're around. Like, I've said this maybe like 3 times this episode. Be careful about who you befriend, because you are the people you hang out with. They tell you, this is like literally like a scientific fact, that you are the 3 people closest to you. 5 people?
Five.
I don't know the number.
And let me give you a real, like a real life example of this. It was a play. We had a play in the Tabur 2 days ago or 3 days ago, where there was this one girl. By the way, 10 out of 10 Tabur. Kafula, whoever made it. There was this one girl, and then her friends made her become not mu'minah, not تصلي, تشعل hijab, those stuff. And then her other friends, بعدها ربطوها with a rope.
What?
Yeah, they tied her up.
By the way, I'm not in the same like school they are in, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was
My first time hearing about it too.
it was so funny. So they ربطوها, and then they put like the stuff.
Thorns and everything, and they took off her hijab.
Yeah, they took off her hijab, and then the other friends came and they untied her, and then they made her pray, and then there was ضحكة الشيطان for some reason. When I tell you, I swear to God,
So diabolical.
it sounded crazy. It sounded crazy. Like, people thought this was someone's laugh. Like, they were like, "Bro, whose laugh is that?" And then we started hearing more and more. We're like, "That's the devil himself." Like, girl. Anyway,
So basically, finishing off. What? Okay.
Basically.
Okay. So basically, after that, what happened? Good friends came in. Okay, good friends came in, and they untied her.
that's literally what I said.
No, you didn't finish. You didn't finish. No. They took the rope off and they put her hijab back on, and she became mu'mina again. So.
So wild.
No, actually, it's true. Like you'd see it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, there's a moral of the story. They're not telling you this is like a real situation. This is just like what happens when you befriend.
Like, be
bad-
careful. Like, it could be the
Bad
smallest thing.
influences,
Exactly.
yeah.
It could be like the smallest thing to begin with, and then it grows and grows over time.
Exactly.
Like, the minute you, honestly, I feel like there's aura to toxicity. Like you feel, like you can feel it.
Why are you staring at me?
Because the last one she said aura.
Yeah, I love when they say sigma and I say alpha.
So you can actually feel it, or like, yeah, you can actually feel when there's toxicity. Being toxic doesn't mean being a bad person. It just means you've found different
Not
ways. No, not at all. You're not. No one's toxic to the core. Like, it's basically basic. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that you found different ways or unhealthy ways to cope with trauma, things that have negatively impacted your mental state. And honestly, whenever when you continue taking that path or that toxic path, you start to rot, as I said earlier. Yeah, but when you take that, like, you're not doomed. You can go back from it, no matter how toxic you are. Like, yes, sure, there are gonna be some signs left, but you can still fix yourself if you're aware of it.
I feel like whenever you experience both sides of any situation, like friendships, toxicity, like any type of problem that you're in, this is just the obvious thing that we've been talking about for the entire episode. You're just gonna gain awareness. You're gonna gain more wisdom. You're gonna gain more knowledge. As I just said, we've talked a lot about self-awareness, but I think the most valuable thing you can take from being on both sides is mutual respect and taking responsibility. You're going to have to sit with yourself and ask yourself, am I taking responsibility for my actions? Is the other person taking responsibility for their actions? Am I respecting their opinions? Am I respecting them as a person? Are they doing the same to me? Once you're able to answer those questions, you can be sure whether this person or you are toxic or not. Without these two very crucial things, I think they're like the most important things ever. I feel like you just can't tell. You're just gonna blank out. Opinion on this?
Yeah. So as they both like sort of mentioned, being in both places just makes you grow, like helps you really think, and it also helps you like understand people better. Like so a lot of people, when they're dealing with anything in their life that like has two people involved, they don't know how to act, they don't know what to do because they don't know what the other person is thinking or feeling. So being the toxic and being the toxified, the one that's like has a toxic person being toxic to them, you truly understand both positions, why the toxic person is being toxic, why the person like what both feel, and I think that gives you such a great understanding of the world. Like this is gonna sound so weird, like what do you mean the world? Like yes guys, the world, like this is one of the biggest issues people face, especially in relationships, whether that be friendships with your family, whatever it is. It gives you ثقافة. And I don't hope for anyone to be the toxic friend. I just hope you try to understand why that happens, why the other person's doing it. Not in any means am I saying toxicity should be justified, but try to understand why, and from there you'll fix it.
And also, like something I feel like we had to mention in this podcast is boundaries. Boundaries are what's going to set apart a toxic person from a normal, like healthy relationship or a friendship. If that person keeps repeating in toxic action and you keep repeatedly telling them that, oh, don't do that, that annoys me, that offends me, that has a negative impact on me, and they keep doing that, well, I'm sorry, but what's the point anymore? There are boundaries for a reason. So be sure to have clear communication, clear boundaries. Never stay quiet or stay silent when you're uncomfortable with something. Never ignore something just for the sake of ignoring it or for keeping that friend, because that's just going to lead to you getting drained, so we don't want that.
Does anyone have anything to add before we finish?
Toxicity is hold on. Toxicity is a trait that could be gained, but it also can be removed. Like it's not something that could be stamped on your core personality or anything like that unless you let it. Yeah.
So guys, I think we spoke about this one of the podcasts, that when you're born in a personality you can't change it much. That's with your core, but the things you do, the bad habits, stuff like that, they can be removed just as easily as they were put in. So guys, remember, if you ever find yourself being toxic, just realize it, be aware, and change it.
Like even if you can't really control yourself when it comes to being toxic, it only really matters when you act on it.
Yeah.
If you think that, like, okay, you can work on that, you can work on getting yourself better. Even if you keep thinking about it, don't act on it. That's what really sets you apart from other people. Yeah.
Now guys, as soon as after you've watched this episode, reflect on yourself. Think, am I toxic or am I in a toxic relationship? If not, to both answers, to both questions, then amazing. But if yes, then
Work on yourself, guys.
Work on yourself, never settle, be the best version. Toxicity is a disease. You can leave it as easily as you can take it.
Exactly.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.